Now the next one are the striated muscles, which are stripped in appearance. They appear to be black and white lines present there, and they are also called as skeletal muscles because they are associated with the skeletons or skeleton of the human body or the animal's body. That means skeletal muscles are voluntary in nature, so they are in our willpower. We can raise our arm, we can raise our legs, we can raise our fingers. All these motions are possible in our willpower. That's why they are called as the voluntary muscles. So they are found in the body wall, they are found in limb, tongue, pharynx, and the beginning of the esophagus. Remember, the first 1/3 part of the esophagus is in our control. That means the first third part of the muscles found in the esophagus are the voluntary muscle, and the next 2/3 part or the maximum portion of it is the involuntary in nature. So the anterior most portion is in control, and left portion, which is the posterior one, is not in our control. And they are, remember, these muscles are they function under the willpower of the person. So the reason is the CNS. I think you all know ANS CNS topic we have covered in the 10th class also. And these muscles are present in bundles. That's why I have drawn in this manner. This is one, and then there are bundles present together. They constitute 80% or even more of the total soft tissue body mass of a person, and the striated muscles are long and they can even go up to 30 centimeter in length, so quite long when compared with the smooth muscles. But remember that they will not have pointed tips like they will have blunt ends. These are called as blunt ends, and these are called as tapering ends. These muscles are elongated, and then they are surrounded externally by the sarcolemma. Just beneath the sarcolemma, in each fiber there are many nuclei. So you can see here one nucleus is there. Here I have drawn, for example, 3 nuclei, and nucleus is centrally positioned here. Nucleus is peripheral in position because it is just beneath the sarcolemma, or you can say it is just beneath the plasmalemma or the plasma membrane. This condition where more than one nucleus is present in an animal cell is called as syncytial situation, or also called as syncytium. So just beneath the sarcolemma there will be many nuclei which occur in irregular pattern. So there is no fixed pattern where will be the nuclei present, but all just under the plasmalemma. And these fibers are therefore multinucleated, and such a condition is called as syncytial nature. The striated muscles contain many mitochondria when compared to smooth muscle, and greater amount of glycogen, because food has to be stored in the muscle in the form of glycogen, and here glycogen amount is also less. So because they have to sometimes function very fast and quickly, that's why more mitochondria and more glycogen is there. The cytoplasm has large number of myofibrils which are tightly packed into dark bands and light bands. Now that topic will be coming in the human physiology locomotion topic, because then you have to understand the structure of these muscle, or the main thing here is the sarcomere. The topic is called sarcomere, which comes in human physiology. So I'm leaving this portion here because we'll be covering that later on. So the next main thing to understand is that they have more vascular supply, they have less vascular supply because blood supply has to be more here, because sometimes lot of oxygen is required, and then lots of mitochondria is required for burning the glucose. That's why they store glycogen also in a great amount. Remember, these muscles contract, I'm talking about striated muscles, that these muscles contract rapidly but for a short period of time, and they also get fatigue. You all know the topic of fatigue, which you have done in the junior classes. So they contract fast but for a short duration, and they undergo fatigue, and then you start getting lactic acid accumulation in your muscles. 10th class topic of life processes. These muscles, remember, smooth muscles contract slowly, and because they contract slowly they work for a long period and they never get fatigued. So these muscles never show accumulation of lactic acid because their contraction is a slower burn, and that's why they can go on functioning for a long duration of time. Detail of sarcomere. will come later in the topics of human physiology. Now this brings us to the next point, that why are they called as skeletal muscles. So the striated muscles are joined to the bones with the help of tendon. Now if you remember, ligament and tendon we have covered before. BBL means bone to bone joining with the help of ligament, and BMT means bones joined with muscle with the help of the tendon. So bones and muscles join together with tendon, and because these striated muscles are found only in the skeleton, that's why they are called as skeletal muscles, and they are responsible for the movement of external body parts as well as for the locomotion. Now this brings us to the next muscle, which is called as the cardiac muscle. The third type of muscle is called as cardiac muscle, which is found in the heart, or you can say it is found in the wall of the heart and have very rich blood supply. Why rich blood supply? Because heart has to function forever and then finish one day, or cardiac arrest or heart failure would be there. So its unique ability is to generate its own wave of excitement. So just like the single unit myogenic contraction, heart also has the property of myogenic excitement. You must have seen in movies people giving electric shock for making the person to come back to life again. Sometimes the heart has to be given shock. That shock will make it again start working. So that is because the heart has the property of myogenic contraction. So the next thing is the muscles of the heart is called as the myocardium. So the muscular wall of cardia word is used for heart. So myo means muscle. So myocardium is the muscular wall, or the portion of the wall of the muscle, portion of the wall of the heart which is made up of muscle is called as myocardium. And which muscle is there? Cardiac muscles are there. These muscles are striated, please remember, so similar to this. But these muscles are involuntary. So some properties of cardiac muscles are like striated and some are like smooth muscles.